Right now, at this very moment, your Windows PC is doing things you never asked it to do. It's collecting your data. It's sending information to Microsoft's servers. It's running programs in the background that are quietly eating your RAM, slowing your boot time, and burning through your CPU. And the worst part? You gave it permission. You just didn't know it. Because buried inside Windows 11 are dozens of settings that are switched on by default. Not for your benefit, but for Microsoft's. And today, we're going to find every single one of them, and we're going to turn them off. Whether you just bought a brand new laptop, whether you recently made the jump from Windows 10 after Microsoft ended its support, or whether you've been running Windows 11 for a while and you've just noticed it feels slower, more cluttered, more intrusive than it should, this is exactly the video you need to watch right now. We're not doing any sketchy third-party software. No registry hacks that could break your system, no guesswork. Every single thing I'm going to walk you through today is something you can do yourself right now in under 30 minutes. And by the time we're done, your PC is going to feel like a completely different machine. Faster, cleaner, more private, and actually yours. So don't go anywhere. Because number 3 on this list is something that almost nobody talks about, and it might be the single biggest reason your PC feels sluggish. Let's get into it. The first thing we need to deal with, and honestly, this is the most immediately impactful thing on this entire list, is your startup apps. Now I know what you're thinking. Yeah, startup apps, I've heard this before. But here's what most people don't realize. On a fresh Windows 11 install, especially on a new laptop that came preloaded from a manufacturer, you can have anywhere between 15 and 30 applications automatically launching the moment you turn on your computer. 30 applications, all fighting for your RAM, your CPU, your disk, before you've even opened a single browser tab. Here's how you see exactly what's happening. Press Ctrl, Shift, and Escape at the same time. That opens Task Manager. On the left side, you're going to see a tab called Startup Apps. Click on it. And now look at what comes up. You'll probably see things like Microsoft Teams, Spotify, Discord, OneDrive, your GPU software, your antivirus, your manufacturer's bloatware, all of it loading before you've done anything. Now look at the column that says Startup Impact. Sort by that column. Anything marked high is costing you real measurable seconds every time you boot your machine. Go through that list. Anything you don't need the moment your computer turns on, right-click it, hit Disable. You're not uninstalling these apps. They'll still be there when you want them. You're just telling Windows, don't launch this until I ask for it. Do this for every non-essential app on that list, and the difference in your boot time will be immediate and dramatic. Some people shave 30 seconds. Some people shave over a minute. And beyond boot time, you're freeing up RAM that Windows was previously just handing away to programs you weren't even using. Now let's talk about something that's a little more invisible, but arguably just as important for your day-to-day experience, background app permissions. This is separate from startup apps. These are applications that, even after you've closed them, continue running silently in the background, consuming memory, sending and receiving data, just running, for no reason you asked for. To find this, go to Settings, then Apps, then Installed Apps. Find an app, let's say Spotify for example, click the 3 dots next to it and hit Advanced Options. Scroll down and you'll see a section called Background App Permissions. It's probably set to something like Always or Power Optimized. Change it to Never. And now that app is done running behind your back. The problem is you have to do this app by app, which is tedious, I know. But here's a shortcut. Open Task Manager, go to the Processes tab, and sort by memory or CPU. Whatever's consuming the most resources right now, while you're literally doing nothing, that's your first target. Go deal with that one first, then work your way down the list. The apps that surprise most people? Web browsers, Chrome especially. By default, Google Chrome continues running in the background even after you close every single window. To stop this, open Chrome, click the 3 vertical dots in the top right corner, go to Settings, then System, and turn off Continue Running Background Apps when Google Chrome is closed. That one setting alone can give you back a noticeable chunk of memory. The third one, this is the one I mentioned at the start, the one almost nobody talks about, is online search suggestions in the Start menu. When you press the Windows key and start typing something, Windows 11 doesn't just search your local files, it sends your search query to Bing in real time as you type. Every single character you enter into that search bar is potentially being sent to Microsoft's servers. Now think about what you search for on your own computer, your files, your documents, your private folders, app names, personal stuff. And Windows is quietly routing all of that through an online search engine without explicitly telling you. Turning this off requires a quick registry edit, but don't be intimidated. It's very simple and completely safe. Press Windows and R at the same time to open the Run dialog. Type regedit and press Enter. In the registry editor, navigate to HKOI current user, then software, then policies, then Microsoft, then Windows. look for a folder called Explore. If it doesn't exist, right-click on the Windows folder, click New, then Key, and name it Explorer. Then inside that Explorer folder, right-click in the empty right-hand panel, click New, then Doored, 32-bit value. Name it exactly. Disable search box suggestions, no spaces. Double-click it and set the value to 1. Click OK, close the registry editor, and restart your computer. After that restart, your Start menu search stays completely local. Microsoft no longer receives your keystrokes. Now, let's talk about something that's genuinely gotten worse with every Windows update: notifications. And I'm not just talking about app notifications from Discord or Gmail, which are reasonable. I'm talking about the system notifications that Windows itself generates, tips and tricks pop-ups, suggestions to try new Microsoft features, prompts telling you to set up OneDrive, alerts about your Microsoft account being incomplete, recommendations for Microsoft 365. These are not helpful. They are advertisements, dressed up as system alerts, and Windows 11 ships with all of them enabled. Go to Settings, then System, then Notifications. At the top, you'll see a master toggle for notifications. You can turn off everything at once, or you can scroll down and handle it app by app to keep the ones you actually want. But the ones you definitely want to turn off are under the Additional Settings section at the bottom of that page. Uncheck Offer suggestions on how I can set up my device. Uncheck. Get tips and suggestions when I use Windows. These are the ones responsible for the Microsoft-generated advertisement banners that keep popping up in the corner of your screen. Also, right above that, turn on Do Not Disturb. When Do Not Disturb is enabled, notifications still come in. They just don't interrupt you with banners and sounds. You can check them when you want to, on your terms. There's also a separate notification setting hiding in the Start menu. Go to Settings, Personalization, then Start. You'll see a toggle that says Show account-related notifications occasionally in Start. Oh, turn that off. That's the one responsible for the little red dot that appears on your profile picture in the Start menu, nagging you about OneDrive backup or missing Microsoft account information. Moving on, let's talk about the Widgets panel. If you've accidentally swiped or clicked the little weather widget icon on the left side of your taskbar, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A full panel slides out filled with weather information, sports scores, stock prices, all of which could be genuinely useful, but buried underneath all of that is an endless scroll of MSN news articles, clickbait headlines, sponsored content, and trending topics that Microsoft decides are relevant to you. You didn't subscribe to a news feed, you opened Windows, but here you are. You have two options here. The first option is to disable the entire widget panel. Go to Settings, Personalization, Taskbar, and toggle off widgets. Done. The widget button disappears from your taskbar entirely. The second option, if you actually like some of the widget functionality like the weather or your calendar, you can keep the panel but remove the newsfeed. Open the widgets board, click the little gear icon for settings, then click Show or Hide Feeds, and let's stop and turn off the Microsoft Start toggle. The newsfeed disappears, but your functional widgets remain. Most people, honestly, are better off just turning the whole thing off. It's one less thing pulling your attention away from what you actually opened your computer to do. Now, this next one is big. This is one of the most important privacy settings on this entire list. And it's one that Windows 11 has buried in a way that makes it very easy to miss. It's called the advertising ID, and here's what it actually does. Windows 11 generates a unique identifier tied to your account. This identifier is used to track your activity across apps and websites, what you click on, what you buy, what you watch, what you search for, and it uses that data to serve you targeted advertisements inside apps. You are being profiled on your own computer that you paid for. To turn this off, go to Settings, Privacy and Security, then General. Right at the top, you'll see a toggle that says, Let apps show me personalized ads by using my advertising ID. Turn that off immediately. While you're on that same general page, also turn off Let Windows improve start and search results by tracking app launches, and Show me suggested content in the Settings app. That last one is exactly what it sounds like. Microsoft putting advertisements inside your Settings menu. Turn all of these off. None of them benefit you, all of them benefit Microsoft. And while we're inside privacy and security, don't close that settings page yet, because the next item on our list is right here too. It's called Diagnostics and Feedback, and this is where Microsoft collects what they call telemetry data from your PC. The way they frame it is very friendly. They say this data helps them improve Windows, fix bugs, understand how features are being used, and maybe some of that is true. But what's also true is that your machine is constantly sending behavioral data about how you use your own computer to a corporation without you actively choosing to participate. Click on Diagnostics and Feedback. The first setting you'll see is Send Optional Diagnostic Data. Turn that off. Below that, make sure your diagnostic data level is set to Send Required Data Only. This is the minimum level. You can't turn off all diagnostic data completely on Windows 11 Home without going deep into enterprise-level tools, but you can reduce it significantly here. Also on this page, look for tailored experiences. Turn that off too. That's the setting that uses your diagnostic data to show you personalized tips and product recommendations, which is again just a polished way of saying targeted ads powered by your own usage data. While you're still in privacy and security, click on speech and make sure online speech recognition is turned off unless you actively use voice commands. This setting, when enabled, sends your voice input to Microsoft's cloud servers for processing. If you're not using Cortana or dictation features regularly, there's simply no reason to have this on. And while you're at it, click on inking and typing personalization and turn that off as well. This is a feature that builds a personal dictionary by learning from your typing habits, including the things you type in private messages, documents, and search bars. Disable it. We're about halfway through, and I want to pause for a second because I know some of this feels like a lot of steps. But here's what I want you to understand about what we're doing. Every single setting we've turned off so far represents data that was leaving your machine, bandwidth that was being consumed, or CPU and memory that was being used by something you didn't ask for. You're not breaking anything. You're not making Windows less functional. You're making it more functional. For you, instead of for Microsoft. Keep going, it's worth it. Let's talk about the Start Menu Recommendation section, because this is another area where Microsoft has gotten very aggressive. Open the Start menu, and you'll see a section at the bottom called Recommended. This shows you recently opened files, recently installed apps, and browsing history from Edge. Now the intention sounds helpful, quick access to recent stuff. But the execution means Windows is constantly monitoring what you open, what sites you visit in Edge, and what apps you install, and surfacing that information in a panel that everyone who glances at your screen can see. Go to Settings, Personalization, then Start. You'll find a whole list of toggles here. Turn off Show Recently Added Apps. Turn off Show Most Used Apps. Turn off Show Recently Opened Items in Start, Jump Lists, and File Explorer. Turn off Show Websites from your browsing history. And turn off Show Recommendations for tips, shortcuts, new apps, and more. Once you've done all of that, your Start menu becomes a clean, static launcher that shows your pinned apps and nothing else. No surveillance feed of your recent activity, no Microsoft suggestions, no ads disguised as recommendations. Now, I want to talk about something that trips up a lot of people who are moving from Windows 10 to Windows 11, or who have recently done a factory reset. It's the Activity History and Timeline feature. This is a feature that records a chronological history of everything you do on your PC. Files you opened, websites you visited, apps you used, and syncs that history to your Microsoft account, so you can theoretically pick up where you left off on another device. Sounds convenient on paper. In practice, it means Microsoft has a detailed log of your daily computer activity stored in the cloud. To turn this off, go to Settings, Privacy and Security, then Activity History. Make sure the checkbox for Store My Activity History on this device is unchecked. If you see a button that says Clear History, click it too. That wipes the existing record. While you're in Privacy and Security, go to Search Permissions and turn off both Microsoft account and work or school account under History. And go back to Diagnostics and Feedback and hit the Delete button under Delete Diagnostic Data to wipe whatever telemetry has already been collected and sent. This next one is for everyone who doesn't use their computer for gaming, and even for some people who do. Windows 11 has Game Mode and Xbox Game Bar built in, and both of them run as background services even when you're not playing anything. Game Bar is accessible with the Windows key plus G, and it's a gaming overlay that gives you access to screen recording, audio controls, and performance monitoring. It's genuinely useful if you're a gamer. But if you're using your PC for work, school, or general use and you're not gaming, Game Bar is consuming system resources for absolutely nothing. Go to Settings, then Gaming, then Game Bar. Turn off, allow your controller to open Game Bar, then go back to Gaming and click on Game Mode. Turn off the Game Mode toggle. Game Mode, when active, can actually interfere with non-gaming applications by prioritizing game-related processes, which can cause inconsistencies in regular workloads. Unless you're gaming, both of these should be off. Let's talk about something that sounds benign but is actually one of the most quietly irritating features Microsoft has introduced: search highlights. When you open the Windows search interface by pressing the Windows key, you'll sometimes see a little panel at the top right showing interesting content, images, facts, trending searches, events. This is content served by Bing. It has nothing to do with searching your local machine. It's essentially a mini news feed that Microsoft has inserted directly into your search interface, and it refreshes constantly. To turn it off, go to Settings, Privacy and Security, then Search Permissions. Scroll down and you'll find a toggle for Show Search Highlights. Turn it off. Your search interface will now open cleanly, showing only your recent searches and local results. No Bing content, no trending topics, no featured articles. It's a cleaner, faster, more focused experience. Now let's talk about something that actually has real performance implications, and that's automatic restart after Windows updates. By default, Windows 11 will restart your computer after installing updates, even while you're in the middle of working. It gives you a warning, sure, but it can still reboot at inconvenient times if you're not actively watching for the notification. If you've ever come back to your computer after stepping away for a few minutes and found it rebooted, losing unsaved work in the process, this setting is why. Go to Settings, Windows Update, then Advanced Options. You'll find a toggle called Notify Me when a restart is required to finish updating. Turn that on. Then make sure Restart this device as soon as possible when a restart is required to install an update is turned off. This puts you back in control. Windows will still update. That's important. You want security patches, but it will now wait for you to manually authorize the restart instead of doing it on its own schedule. There's one more thing I want to cover, and this one is specifically for people running Windows 11 on a laptop or a machine with a mechanical hard drive, or even on a system that's a few years old. It's called the page file, or virtual memory, and while this is a more advanced setting, it's worth understanding and, in some cases, adjusting. By default, Windows 11 manages the page file automatically. The page file is a reserved section of your storage drive that Windows uses as overflow memory when your RAM is full. The problem is that on systems with SSDs, constant page file activity contributes to drive wear over time. And on systems with HDDs, it can cause significant slowdowns because accessing data from a spinning disk is orders of magnitude slower than real RAM. For users with 16 GB or more of RAM, you may consider setting a fixed, smaller page file size rather than letting Windows auto-manage it, which can sometimes balloon to enormous sizes and fragment your drive. Go to Settings, then search for Adjust the Appearance and Performance of Windows. Open that. Go to the Advanced tab. Click Change under Virtual Memory. Uncheck Automatically Manage Paging File Size for all drives, and set an initial and maximum size that's appropriate for your usage. If you have a 16 GB of RAM, setting the page file to something like 4 GB to 8 GB is more than sufficient for most workloads. I also want to mention clipboard history because it's a privacy concern that very few people think about. Windows 11 has a clipboard manager that, when enabled, stores everything you copy. Not just the last thing, but a running history of everything. Text, images, links, all of it. To check whether this is on, go to Settings, System, then Clipboard. If clipboard history is toggled on, you need to ask yourself, is this something I actually use? And more importantly, is it something I'm comfortable with, given the sensitive things I sometimes copy? Passwords, account numbers, personal messages. If you don't actively use the multi-item clipboard feature, turn it off. And if you do use it, at the very least turn off the Sync Across Devices option, which uploads your clipboard content to Microsoft's cloud. Now I want to take a moment to talk about something that ties all of this together, because I think understanding the why matters just as much as knowing the what. Microsoft is a business. Windows 11 is not a neutral operating system. It's a platform that Microsoft monetizes through advertising, through data collection, through pushing users toward paid services like Microsoft 365, OneDrive storage subscriptions, and Copilot Pro. Every default setting that we've discussed today exists because it serves Microsoft's business model. The data collection funds product improvement, but also advertising. The newsfeed and widgets drives traffic and ad revenue. The start menu recommendations subtly nudge you toward Microsoft services. None of this is illegal, but none of it was set up with your performance, your privacy, or your user experience as the primary concern. And here's what I find genuinely frustrating about Windows 11 compared to even Windows 10. The sheer number of these settings has grown. Microsoft has added more advertising ID features, more telemetry collection points, more places where content from their own services intrudes on your basic operating system experience. The operating system that you paid for, or that came on hardware you paid for, has become increasingly a vehicle for Microsoft to maintain a data relationship with you. And I think that's worth knowing. Not to make you angry, just to make you informed. Because an informed user is one who actually controls their own machine. So let's quickly run through everything we did today so it's crystal clear. We killed startup apps that were slowing your boot time. We stopped background apps from running without your permission. We closed the loophole that was sending your local search queries to Bing. We cleaned up notifications so Windows stops yelling at you about Microsoft products. We killed the widget's newsfeed. We turned off the advertising ID that was being used to profile and target you. We reduced telemetry and diagnostic data to the minimum level. We disabled online speech recognition and typing personalization. We stripped the start menu recommendations down to nothing. We turned off activity history so Windows stops logging and cloud syncing your daily activity. We disabled game bar and game mode for non-gamers. We removed Bing content from the search interface. We took control of Windows update restarts. and we addressed clipboard history as a privacy consideration. Each one of those individually makes a difference. All of them together? This is a fundamentally different experience. Your machine is faster because it's no longer dividing its resources between what you're doing and what Microsoft wanted it to do. It's quieter because it's not constantly interrupting you with notifications and recommendations. It's more private because it's no longer building a behavioral profile of your daily computer use. And it genuinely feels more like a tool that you own and control rather than a platform you're renting from a company that has ongoing commercial interests in your activity. The thing about Windows 11 is that it is actually a good operating system when you strip away all of this. The performance improvements over Windows 10 are real. The interface, once you customize it, is clean and responsive. The compatibility is excellent. Direct storage for gaming, improved task manager, snap layouts for productivity. There are genuinely great things about this OS. You just have to get past all the default settings that are working against you before you can actually enjoy them. If you found this useful, and I really hope you did, then share it with someone who just got a new laptop, or someone who recently upgraded and feels like their machine is slower than it should be. Because the odds are overwhelming that they haven't touched a single one of these settings. Their PC is out there right now, running background apps, sending telemetry, logging their activity, serving them personalized ads based on their typing and browsing habits, and they don't even know it. 30 minutes of your time is all it takes to completely change that. Your PC should work for you, not the other way around. Now go make that happen.